Do you wonder why you can have some amazing conversations with your neurodivergent teen or young adult and hear them say some profound things, and then they can't manage the simple tasks of daily living? This happens, and when our kids were younger, we expected some of this. I remember times of thinking, wow, that was really profound for a 9-year-old to say. Wait a minute, why is she melting down again? She had asynchronous development. Her emotional capacity was not keeping pace with her intellectual capacity. And I knew that as she was growing, eventually things would level out some. But in the moment, there was some asynchronous development. And somehow we think that as our teens and young adults get older and mature, that things are going to catch up and they're going to be at the same place. And while the gap should be closing, they still will have changing support needs. There will be times that they need more support than they did, and in areas that we thought they had mastered. Hey, I'm Crystal Wagner. I'm a professional life coach, and I am also a late diagnosed autistic ADHD mom with 2 neurodivergent daughters. We are living this out. We, on a regular basis, have those conversations of, I thought they could do that. Guess not. And the reality is, yes, they can, but they have demands on their executive functioning and on their sensory needs that takes what was possible and makes it now really hard. So, in this episode, I want to talk about ways you can support your teens through this and maybe some mindset shifts that can help you to deal with this a little bit better. I think the biggest thing is to just acknowledge this happens. I remember a conversation with a psychologist who said, yeah, well, that makes complete sense that she needed more support during that time. And I don't know why I hadn't thought about that before, but it did. It made complete sense when I thought about all of the things that she was involved in, what she was doing, and then how, oh, yeah, she could do that before. She felt confident to do that before, and now she doesn't. And looking back, I can also see how the activities that were putting additional load and strain on her system became easier. They became second nature. And as that happened, her ability to do the other things, I think the life tasks, the daily tasks, caught up to that. So we seem to have this constant ebb and flow of taking on more, which we're glad that our daughters are taking on more responsibility, trying new things, stepping out, engaging in classes in a different way, taking on additional responsibilities at their jobs or internships. And we have to recognize that what they could do may backslide a little bit in the process. And that is where we can support them. We can find ways to help them through that transition so that they can focus their efforts on developing these new skills. And then their executive functioning or their daily life tasks will be able to catch up. Their emotional abilities will be able to catch up. And when that happens, they're still several steps ahead of where they were. And then knowing that we're going to repeat that process when they take on something new, it's just become a part of our cycle. And it no longer feels so hard when I think, why was this working before and it's not? I can immediately say, yes, I see that. I see that they needed that time to catch up, and I need to support them a little bit more during this time. So just knowing that this is happening, this is reality, makes it a lot easier to deal with, makes it not feel like, well, I shouldn't have to be helping them. They were doing that. It doesn't feel like I'm doing something wrong as a parent, or I'm not supporting them in the right way. I'm not encouraging them. They just need some extra support. What really helps me during these times is to continually ask, what is my role? I'll ask my daughters, how can I support you right now? I might need to go over more frequently to their apartment and just say, hey, let's have a day that we clean up together. I might need to sit down with my daughter and say, let's look at your schedule. How are you feeling about it? What's going on? All of these times are times that I say, how can I support you? And honestly, sometimes they don't know. They are too overwhelmed or they're not able to manage all of those pieces that they will say, I don't know. And I can kind of tell, as I mentioned in a previous episode, that there are times when they have more capacity and I can ask those open-ended questions. How can I support you right now? And other times that I need to offer some options. And I might say, hey, I noticed that you're going into a really demanding semester, or I noticed that you have this event coming up and that tends to take a lot of your time and energy and your thoughts. Would you like some extra support during this time? And they might willingly say, oh, yeah, that's a good point. And then I could offer some suggestions. I might say, hey, in the past, I've supported you in this way. I've done these things. Do you still need some of those supports, or do we need to look at other options? Giving them choices and allowing them to have the agency to make those choices of how you're going to support them can acknowledge that, you know what, I've got some challenges right now. I can deal with them, and I need some extra help as I learn to integrate and build these skills. And as always, I feel like a broken record that I say this in every episode, but we have to acknowledge they can make the choices. They may not want the help. They may want to try it on their own. We have had situations when that happened, and it's okay to say, okay, great. I'm here if you need me. And then you can check in later. Maybe in a couple of weeks or in a month, you might say, how are things going? Very open-ended, express your unconditional love and support. I'm just checking on you, just want to see how it's going. And then say, is there anything I can do to help you or support you right now? And they may have realized, you know what? I'm not ready to do this on my own. I do need some extra support. Or they might say, you know what? It's really going well, but maybe there's just one little thing that you could help me because I can't quite figure it out. It still is putting them in the driver's seat, giving them that agency and helping them to build the confidence that they can figure out what they need and what support they need, which will help them as they move further into adulthood, into the workforce, into other relationships, that they can start asking people for what they need, for the support that they need, without feeling bad that, yeah, I need a little extra support, and acknowledging this is how I need help right now. Watching your child struggle is hard, no matter how old they are, whether they are little and just figuring things out, or they're teens and adults and the stakes seem really high. It still tugs at our hearts as a parent, and it can be really hard to step back and to not take control. But it's really important that they learn these skills and learn how to advocate for themselves. We have the privilege of partnering with our children to help them learn how to recognize what they need, learn how to see these cycles that are coming so that maybe they can get ahead of it and notice, I'm going to have a really busy season coming up. I'm going to need some extra support. And knowing that this is going to be hard at times to watch. It will be hard to step back and say, pretty sure they're going to need some extra support and they don't want it. But we need to let them spread their wings, especially when they're in lower stakes situations and they need to experience what it's like to soar and to fall and what to do when that happens. Above all, show your unconditional love. You are still there to catch them, to hug them, and to tell them, you'll get this. It takes some practice, takes some time, but you will get there. And honestly, sometimes those are the conversations that build the relationship and allow additional support in the future more than anything else has. If you need help thinking through what support for your teen or young adult or for you looks like in this season, I'd be more than happy to talk with you about that. Feel free to reach out to me and let's have a conversation. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.